Valerie, how are you doing? This is Ted Hicks from Late Night Parents.
Oh, hey, Ted. Great to talk to you. I'm doing well. Thank you.
Same here. So, thank you for joining today. This is Late Night Parents. Best ways to follow this discussion is latenightparents.com. We are speaking with Valerie Hines, who is the customer service manager for RedWeek. RedWeek is the largest online marketplace for renting, buying, and selling timeshares. So, Valerie, wonderful to meet you. Tell me all about RedWeek.
Wow. Well, it's great to meet you, too. RedWeek, we've been around for a while. We're not a very well-known name, but we've been around since 2002. Our founder, it's kind of funny how we came about. Our founder, his name is Randy Conrad. He's a great guy, but he was really interested in timeshares or the accommodations that you could get in timeshares, but was very hesitant about them because they kind of have that stigma. Everybody thinks timeshare, eek, scary, scary thing. But just what you get with a timeshare is so much more than a regular hotel room. And so he actually had talked to timeshare owners and found that timeshare owners could not use their timeshare. And so he developed RedWeek as sort of a community or a marketplace for timeshare owners to come and rent out their unused timeshares to people who wanted to stay in them. So
that's pretty exciting because I'm going to tell you, I am not a timeshare owner. I was pretty close to becoming one, but I got to tell you, it was kind of annoying speaking with other owners and finding, we really want this week, but either it's going at a premium or we can't have this week, or here are, depending on the package that you purchase, these are the dates that are available for you. And they're never usually good for the family because, let's say the family, you try to plan it around when the kids are out from school where you could say, okay, here's 1 or 2 weeks for the year where we're looking to go to XYZ location. And it just never seems to happen as smoothly as it should.
Well, and that's very true. I was not a timeshare owner. We actually, to tell you my kind of funny little story, is I was planning a surprise trip for my daughter's 6th birthday to the theme parks in Orlando. And we had planned 5 nights in a regular, very well-known resort, and we decided on staying the additional 5 nights at one of the timeshare resorts there in the Orlando area. And that kind of got me thinking. We stayed at the hotel, and the hotel was beautiful. It was fantastic. But, we were in the summer, there in the summer, and in that heat, it was stress. And you have 3 people. I'm a mom of 1, and you have 3 people stuck in this little room with 1 bathroom and a mini fridge. And by the end of the day, you're like, okay, I'm done. Literally. And when we moved on to, we were in our second part of the stay, we were in our 1-bedroom unit, and we had a living room, we had a dining room, we had a full kitchen, a bedroom for mom and dad, a bathroom and a washer and dryer, and it was like the stress just literally fell away. I mean, we each had our own personal space, and I'm a firm believer that moms and dads need their time too on vacation. But after that stay, I was so amazed at just the difference in vacationing. It really got me looking into timeshares. And eventually, we ended up buying. But the one thing, we did our homework. And that was the key, is doing your homework. So knowing the resort that you're buying into, knowing the accommodations they offer, when you can travel, so in buying, homework is important, but when you're renting, homework is important as well. So, the savings, when you're renting a timeshare from an owner, you can save substantial amounts from booking directly with the resort. So it works both ways, whether you're buying or whether you're renting. You have to know what you're doing. That's the important thing. But, it's as long as you do your homework, it usually works out pretty good.
So, Valerie, we're speaking with Valerie Hines of RedWeek. So my question is this. would you say RedWeek works more as kind of like a broker, like kind of like that third party? Are you involved with? Tell me the involvement. Is the involvement more just connecting the buyer seller, or is RedWeek anywhere involved in the negotiation process over the actual price?
No, with RedWeek, I look at us as a community. Basically a place for owners and their renters or their buyers to come together. So while in the past, in prior years, we hadn't been involved in transactions, that's actually changed a little because of all the scamminess of the timeshare industry.
Yes.
Yeah. And I am, as the customer service manager, I deal with a lot of claims of fraud. I do. Mm-hmm. So I'm a safety girl. I hate to say it, but I'm all about educating people so they know what they're getting into, so they know what they're doing their due diligence. But we're basically a place. It doesn't matter which product an owner chooses, whether it be a do-it-yourself resale, where they post their resale themselves, or the rental, the same thing, a do-it-yourself rental. They rent it themselves, and they handle the transaction themselves. But we also have a full-service option where we'll step in and we'll act as the intermediary. We'll post their week for rent or for sale. We'll handle that transaction for them. We want to do this at an affordable price. We don't want it to cost a fortune because there are so many companies out there charging thousands of dollars to do the exact same thing and nothing gets done. That's kind of it in a nutshell. So, we're all about transparency. We really want people to be comfortable with what they're doing on our site. So there are cases with resales where we'll have one of our broker partners will kind of mediate the transaction. But owners can do it themselves as well. So, we can be involved in some transactions, but at the same time, many owners choose to do it themselves, and that's okay too.
Valerie, is there a premium if RedWeek is involved in the negotiation process?
We do. We have rentals and we have resales. With our full service rentals, basically what that means is the owner is going to come to us. They're going to say, hey, I have this week that I want to rent to somebody else. We then, from there, we confirm that week. We make sure that they are the owner. We make sure that they can rent it out. We post it we advertise it on our website. And when somebody comes in with an offer or wanting to book it, we handle that transaction for them. In those cases, on the rentals, we take the payment. We hold the payment until the renter checks in. Once the renter checks in, then we disperse the funds to the owner, basically making sure the renter gets what they want or gets what they paid for.
Perfect.
And on the resale side, we always go through a closing company. And so our broker will act as the intermediary between the buyer and the seller, basically handle the negotiation, and we'll coordinate the closing for between the buyer and the owner, as well as the resort.
Perfect. I do have one negative Nelly question. So
sure, and I love those.
Because we're setting this one up. Okay. So let's just say it's the place itself was oversold. Not in the sense of overbooked, but it was said that there were 3 working bathrooms and 4 rooms, or 2 rooms, but let's say there was a bathroom that's unavailable, or if there's a pool that needed service. How does RedWeek get involved in disputes like that, or do you kind of leave it between the buyer and seller?
Well, that's a great question because, on the do-it-yourself rentals where an owner deals directly with their renter, that would be between the owner and the renter, which is why we're very, very, very strong about making sure you pay with a safe payment method. If you have any issues, in most cases, online payment services are great, but once you send the money, it's gone. And
that's it.
So it's up to so it's up to the owner to really be sympathetic and refund something. So,
right.
but it was about a year and a half ago we started RedWeek Payments, and RedWeek Payments is, again, like I said, we hold the funds until the renter checks in. If there are no disputes, we send it to the owner. So when a renter has a dispute, and the best advice I can always give is if there's ever a problem, contact the front desk first. Ask for a manager. Let them know what the issue is. Because many times issues that happen are outside of the owner's control. So resorts, if there's a problem like a not working bathroom, they're going to fix it. It's simple as that. They're going to take care of it. If a resort is completely booked up, and something is absolutely the resort's fault, they'll go ahead and they'll work it out with the guest. If it's a situation where, let's say somebody booked a one-bedroom unit and they got a studio, well, that's a material dispute. That's a valid, very valid material dispute. Now, if a renter is paying with RedWeek Payments, for example, they can file a dispute. Then basically we act as the arbiter. We'll contact the resort, and we're all about making parties whole. Simple as that. So again, if it's something outside of the owner's control, we're going to step in. We're going to try and get it fixed. If it's something that cannot be fixed, well, then we look at it. It doesn't happen often at all, but, we're going to look at that and we're going to say, okay, how much is this renter out? And I think since RedWeek Payment started and our full-service rental program started, it maybe has happened 3 times. So, but the cool thing about timeshare resorts is that generally they always have some units on hand in case of unit breakage, and so they can move somebody if need be. But they never really oversell. So, it's when you're dealing with timeshares, they book what they have, and that's it, no more. So it's generally the resort is going to make it right. If that doesn't happen, the renter always has the option of filing a dispute, and then we step in, we contact the resort when somebody's using our payment service, and then we'll get it resolved.
We're speaking with Valerie Hines from RedWeek.com, the largest online marketplace for renting, buying, and selling timeshares. I do have a fun question for you now that you successfully answered the Nervous Nelly question.
I answer that all day long, so it's not a nervous Nelly question.
Okay. So question about what data or insight that you could provide to us on, what are, the top destinations for timeshare rentals? And, what are some of the best deals that are going on with RedWeek?
Oh, heavens, there are so many, and this is a fun question, and I could easily talk a good hour and a half about this one. Every year in February, we actually put together, it's the RedWeek Top 25 list. And the top 25 list are basically the most popular timeshares on our site based on the number of bookings and the number of inquiries that are sent about those bookings. And so our top 25 list, we just actually published it about a week ago. And number 1, Aruba. I'm actually a Midwestern girl, and I'm not a beach person, so Aruba is not quite my thing. But Aruba has come in number 1. Year after year after year. We also have Newport Coast, California is another big one. It's close. It's great because the resort is like an oasis. Close enough to the theme parks that you can enjoy those, close enough to San Diego. So it's a cool place to be because everything is, if you're okay with LA traffic and, California traffic, it's a cool place to be because you can get everywhere. Hawaii, always another big one. Atlantis, which, if you're familiar with the Bahamas, everybody has seen those Atlantis commercials. That's number 7. Yeah, number 7 on our list. I've been there, and it is magnificent. For summer vacations, Hilton Head and Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, also amazing places. And then always in the list is Orlando, which I'm kind of an Orlando junkie. And spend a lot of time there. And so Orlando is another big one, but definitely Aruba, the Caribbean, always very, very popular, Florida, California. Right now, actually, and some of the best deals that are out there right now, I don't know if anybody's a baseball fan. I am. And spring training. Yeah, yes. And so it's funny because I was actually just looking at, we're Milwaukee Brewers people here where I live. And so I was just looking at accommodations to head down for maybe a week to see a few spring training games. But, we have the Grapefruit League in Florida, the Cactus League in Arizona, and it can be some amazing places to stay and still see the games on kind of really a bargain for spring training tickets.
Nice. That's really nice. Valerie, I guess my last question for you is, if so for our listeners, they want to find out more information about RedWeek, plug the Facebook page, maybe the website, and some of your other social media handles if you have them available.
Yeah, sure. Everything. Our website, www.redweek.com. We have a magnificent, amazing customer service team. At the bottom of every page is a contact us link. So if anybody ever has any questions, because it can be confusing, they're more than welcome to call in or email in and let us know any questions you have. We're also on Facebook, and that's facebook.com/RedWeek, twitter.com/RedWeek. And, we're not too active in Facebook and Twitter right now, but I expect that's going to grow before too long.
Perfect. RedWeek is a smart hidden treasure. Travelers can get deep discounts at great resorts, whether it's renting or potentially purchasing timeshare, but it's a booming way to book vacations, including exotic spots and last-minute getaways. Valerie Hines, I want to thank you so much for joining Late Night Parents.
Oh, well, it's been my pleasure.
And have a great day.
You as well. Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.